On the air on a Thursday, June 1st, 2020, year of our Lord Jesus Christ. We are here. Thank you very much for being here, for showing up, for watching the video. Subscribe and like, leave a comment, and your agreements or disagreements. I'd like to hear them. That being said, it is NBA Thursday once again, and there are only two teams left. That's right, two teams left. Out of the 30 teams in the NBA, we are down to the Nuggets and the Heat. And where are they? Did I just delete them because, what am I, mad at the Heat? No, I'm not mad at the Heat. But seems like all I have is the Nuggets in here. So we'll just have to do the Nuggets for right now. But we know that the Nuggets are playing the Heat. We're going to do a little freestyle today. There's nothing written down. There's nothing on the poster board anywhere. So what you're getting from me today is going to be all off the top of my head. It might not be too long. Maybe we might just be here about 7 seconds or so before it is time to go. But no, let's get off with this. Here we go. The NBA Finals begin tonight, Thursday night, June 1st at 8:30. Of course, Miami is out in Denver because, let me see, first two. No, I think Miami, let me find out where they're playing. That would be a nice thing. Kind of a little bit mixed up on that, huh? Let's see, NBA Finals. And I will let you know in just a hot second. Playing at Denver. That's why you can play the first two games at Denver. How is that working out? Yeah, Miami's at Denver. So, yeah, that's right. They are at Denver. And of course, Denver will get the last game if it comes to 7. Will it go to 7? I don't think so. But then again, I've been wrong on almost everything that has to do with these playoffs. So I'm not going to take my word for it, and I don't think you should take my word for it that it's not going to go 7. Excuse me, just hold on just a second. Just want to open up a window and let the breeze come through in this day, in this room, in the studio. Okay, so hold on. Bada boom. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. We have Mr. Nikola Jokic and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. There goes Aaron. Yeah, he's jumping through the rim there. Jamal Murray. There's another guy too. Where is this Michael Porter? He's around here somewhere. Michael Porter Jr. There he is. These are the Nuggets, and I think we have an idea who the Heat is. But if I have to go through it again, I will. Okay. No. Yeah. Kevin Love, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, and Duncan Robinson, and Gabe Vincent, who took out Jason Tatum the other night. I'm not going to show him, but he's a hard-working player. That being said, here we have the Nuggets against the Heat. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Now, I'm supposed to be an Eastern Conference guy, but I can't support Pat Riley. I'm sorry. It's just muck ball, and I just don't like his. And I've never said anything different the whole year. I prefer athleticism. I was a Boston fan, and I was a Chicago Bulls fan because of the athleticism, because they went out and got players who could compete on the floor and above the rim. That's what I appreciate. I'm a Celtics fan, but I was a fan of the Lakers when they had both Shaq and Kobe, not when they just had Kobe, because Kobe was a team killer. Just shot the ball. you just, Kobe just, had some psychosis about whatever. People try to say when he had teammates, he passed the ball. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Most of the time, he was trying to shoot the ball. I mean, just trying to make some shot with two or three people on him, just forcing the freaking ball up. Okay, so stop the nonsense. Oh, you Kobe holics. Okay, he was at his best when Shaq was on the team when he actually had to share the ball. There was someone else demanding the ball, other than he couldn't pull rank. So that's when Kobe was at his best. Um, but when Shaq left, it just went to crap, and I couldn't follow the Lakers anymore because I've never, was I ever a Detroit? I was not a fan of the old Detroit Pistons because it's just muck ball, just bull crap. They just let people maul people, and you can't see any good athleticism. You won't see anybody jump up in the air because they're going to be taken out. Same thing happened to Giannis when they played Miami. Same thing happened to Tatum. They're gonna stick their feet out. They're gonna fall down and stick their feet out, so you trip over it. Something's gonna happen to you when you play Miami. Your best player is gonna go out injured somehow, some way. It's just supposed to be an accident. You know, all the time that it happens, right? Um, so, um, yeah, no, can't support the Heat. I can't support Pat Riley. And I wondered to myself today. I wondered because my brother said to me, the Miami Heat play a lot like the old Celtics. Yes, my brother Craig. Me and him converse all the time about basketball. We're like basketball aficionados. We can't stay off it. When we talk about it, we talk about Nate Archibald, Sam Lacey. Remember Sam Lacey, Kansas City Royals. I mean, if I know Sam Lacey, that means that I study basketball. Okay. Spencer Hayward coming into the league, the first guy to come into the league as a high schooler, right out of high school. So I have had my pulse. I've had my finger on the pulse of basketball since a very young age, which goes to show you that could be maybe 100 years, but we're not going to say that. But what I am saying is that my brother was saying that maybe the Miami Heat are a lot like the old Boston Celtics. Now I have to think about this because a lot like because Pat Riley used to get his butt handed to him by Red Auerbach and Bill Russell. Now we had Heisen on the team and Sharman, but with Russell came a more of a defense first attitude. So we did have a guy named Casey Jones and a guy named Satch Sanders who played defense. Primarily, their job was defense, and then they had offensive scorers: Heinsohn, Havlicek, Sam Jones, um, Bill Sharman, Larry Siegfried, a lot of different players who played offense very well. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm almost scared to say yes. I guess maybe, yeah. But I don't know that they didn't allow the calls that they allow now. I mean, you had to be long and rangy. You had to be get there and run with the guy, whatever like that. Star treatment. Hmm. I don't know if there was so much star treatment as it is now that you can't touch people like how Jimmy Butler gets a foul just by jumping into somebody. I mean, repeatedly. So I don't know if that was the case. I know that Boston did play defense first after Russell got there. Auerbach started drafting players for defense first. Um, well, I can't compare the ages because in the '60s, when the Celtics finished their '60s run, I was just a kid, and NBA wasn't broadcast on television. Everybody, I know that's hard to believe, but the NBA was not broadcast on television. No, there's no NBA broadcast. You might catch it late at night during the regular season on one of the off channels. Now you said, "What is the off channel?" Because you guys that are here right now, you guys are used to having cable, but there was a time there were only three. That's right. There was only three stations on VHF, that frequency. And you're like, what are you talking about? I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. We had televisions They went up to 12 or 20 or something like that. Whatever. The one dial. There was a one dial, and it went from 2 to 12, I believe. And in those 12 dials right there would be three major stations somewhere located, depending on where you lived in the United States. Okay. For Boston, it was 4, 5, and 7, which was NBC, CBS, and ABC. That's right. There were three stations, and the derivatives are still there. NBC, CBS, ABC. The derivatives are still there today in the mass market in the big cable networks. Okay, but those were the three main networks, and that really was it. Except there might be a couple of offshoot networks. Like, what are you talking about? Well, they were just new stations because CBS, NBC, and ABC all started in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. As a matter of fact, ABC was a affiliate of NBC at one time. It was called NBC Blue, and then it changed the name to ABC. So that's how big NBC was. So the, those are the three stations, and then we had this thing called a UHF channel. And you're like, what is that? Well, that was a separate dial, and you'd have to switch over to that. And then we had channel 25, channel 38, channel 56. So it was like all the channels that were above 12, which is what you had on the regular dial. Then you had these new startup stations. They weren't as well established as ABC, CBS, or NBC, and so there they were. And maybe on one of those new startup channels like 25 or 56, as we had in Boston, they might carry the Celtics, okay, but only late at night. It would be like a rebroadcast. You could listen to the Celtics on the radio live, but you could not listen to them or watch them on television for the most part. And there was another thing with UHF. Didn't come in as clear as VHF. Okay. They're very fuzzy. You had to fine tune this thing, right? And move these antennas and things of that sort. And you might be able to get it in nice and clear for about 10 minutes, and then you'd have to readjust it and so and on. So, no, there was no NBA back then, back in the ancient days, back in the Flintstone days where we had dinosaurs and pterodactyls. So we had to make do. So I didn't get to see the Celtics, the old Celtics, when Bill Russell retired. By the time he retired in 1969, I my mother actually took me to a game with the Celtics and the Royals when they had Oscar Robertson. God bless my mom. Um, always trying to take care of her kid. I wanted to go see a game, and then when I got to the Boston Garden, it smelled like the circus had just left there a couple of days before, so it smelled like elephant poop or elephant something. I'm not too sure. Well, it smelled like circus aroma. And so, me being the stand-up, noble, virtuous kid that I did, I complained, "Mom, it smells in here." And if you could have saw the look on her face, like, I just wasted my time coming down here, money on these tickets, and energy to bring you here, and you're complaining about the smell. Talk about first world problems, huh? Well, I had them too, and that was one of them. But I did watch the game. We were kind of far away, but I did watch the game. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. So let's go on. Um, it's hard to get behind the Eat because of Pat Riley, and they played thug ball. Let's just face it. And nobody wants to admit this, but they played thug ball when they were in LA. And I've said this before. That's right, thug ball. And I'm a basketball purist. I've come to realize this. And I always come butt heads with people that just want their particular teams to win, whether you live in New York or Chicago or Boston, LA, or in this case, Miami, in which you will accept anything as a product for your basketball team as long as you win. I have a problem with that. And like I said, the reason why is because I'm a purist. I am an basketball athletic purist. I want to see people with talent do something, not people who grab, hug, hold, bite, and scratch, which is what we see whenever a team plays Miami. Okay. And they'll fall down on you in a second. And next thing you know, you're tripping over them, either twisting your ankle or spraining your back. So with that, I can't be a backer of the Eastern Conference. Sorry. And I don't really think that matters anyway. You should like who you like. and based upon that, um, I'm going with the Nuggets. More based upon the style of game and what I would like to see as opposed to any personalities on the team. Um, I think the way I look at things actually precludes me from liking a lot of the players these days. Um, but there are players I like. Kentavious Caldwell Pope, um, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic. Who's Aaron Gordon. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with the Nuggets because you know why? They got stand-up guys, guys that aren't always flopping and flapping all over the place and looking to get a call. They just play good, hard, tough-nosed defense. So, and upon further review, like I said, this was freestyle. I'm going freestyle. Okay, this is off the top of my head. So, but upon further review, I'm gonna have to go with the Denver Nuggets here because I like their plays a lot better. That being said, so we took a look at that and we got that out the way. Now we're gonna go into, well, it's my graphics that I get to mark them off, and that is the Lakers, Rui Hachimura. Rui, you get marked off the graphics board. Our boy LeBron, who Jesus should have retired 3 years ago, but just won't go away because we have a population that worships the ground that he walks on, and he can do no wrong. So even when he doesn't do anything, loses more than he wins. He gets more excuses than an old witch in a kettle boiling soup, which is how old he's getting. Then we have Mr. D'Angelo Russell, that big trade they made to get Mr. D'Angelo Russell, who I said will fade away as the games get tight and close, and he did. The only player on the team, actually, Rui Hachimura showed out, and so did Austin Reeves. This guy played over and above against a better center. No, the reason why I said that is because Anthony Davis is a slim center, and Nikola Jokic is he's a big center. And when Nikola Jokic turns around, he's going to sweep Anthony Davis out the way most times. Anthony Davis is not going to get a shot. He's not going to be able to do too much to Nikola Jokic. So Anthony Davis put up some pretty good numbers, playing somewhat hurt and playing a lot of minutes a game, getting rebounds and things of that sort. So he really showed out. He really showed out, and I like to see him on a good team, on a team that really concentrates on winning because LeBron's a flopper and faker too. So, um, gee whiz, um, but Rui Hachimura is not, and also Reeves are not. So I like to see them. I just like to see LeBron gone. Then I mean, let's face it. That's basically what I'm saying, without saying it. I think the guy should retire. I don't think he's got anything left um, to prove or not to prove. Um, leave it at that. But Anthony Davis, you get marked off the board. See where you are. You're right there. Okay. And Austin Reeves, who kind of showed out, surprised everyone. He had a good year, and I think he'll do the same next year. He looks fundamentally sound. And when you are fundamentally sound, you're going to do basically what you did the year before, if not better. Okay, and you are gone. So, should I get rid of the Celtics? We'll hold on to them for a while. Maybe next session. Now, there's something I did want to discuss. That's been on my mind. It's about a week old, and it's Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Is Scottie Pippen right? Okay, guys. When he says Michael Jordan was a terrible teammate. Now, I have to preface this by saying Michael Jordan is the best player I've ever seen play. Right. Um, really. I've seen from Earl Monroe to Clyde Frazier to Pete Maravich on up. The tail end of Will Chamberlain's career when he was not that productive or fun to watch. Um, kind of slow and cumbersome. Didn't shoot as much, was just getting rebounds and assists. Um, Michael Jordan's the best player I've seen. But was he a terrible teammate? Um, Yes, yes, guys. Um, we'd have to say so. Let's face it. Michael Jordan did not inspire his teammates. Okay, did not inspire his teammates at all, in almost no sense of the word. Um, he's notorious for being a bad teammate. Notorious. We all know it. This is not something new. We know this. So, yes, Scotty's right when he says that. He's right. Michael Jordan was a terrible teammate. This isn't the first time we've heard it, and it won't be the last. Matter of fact, I watched them all cringe when they were at the what is that? The Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame speech that Michael Jordan gave. I mean, really, where he just talks about everybody and cuts them down and calls them names and I don't, guys, this is nothing new. Um, we all knew this. We all knew that Michael Jordan was that type of guy. For Scotty to say this, I don't think is a revelation that he was a terrible teammate. We all knew this. Whether he was a terrible player, well, that's a different story. And I think maybe Scotty is in his emotions on this one to say that Michael's a terrible player, or because it does say that. It says he was a terrible player, and uh, and he went on to say he was a terrible teammate. That much we know. He was a terrible teammate. But a terrible player? Um, no, no, no. He's not a terrible. He was not a terrible player by anybody's stretch. Not even when he was a wizard was he a terrible player. He was not as good of a player, but he was not a terrible player. Um, Scotty is just a little bit. Well, actually, yes, yeah, I guess, yeah, a little bit upset about something. I'm not sure what he's upset about. He- Actually, everyone knows what he's upset about. He's upset that life has gone on. Let's face it, life has gone on, and there may be some, the rumors of his ex dating Michael Jordan's son. I don't get into gossip, so even though I bring that up, I'm sorry for bringing that up. Let's just go off and say I don't know if that should upset him. You pretty much know what your ex is like, and so if somebody's dating your ex, you know, you probably should have a good laugh at them because already know what this person is like. They're not with you. I think he was with her for a period of time, more than 10 to 12 years, and they got divorced. But you know what this person's like, so no matter how this person is acting or behaving in this situation now, you know what it's going to turn to. So have no fear. I hope that's not what you're upset about. I hope you're just pissed off about the fact that Michael Jordan is, and also let's take it in the context of this. He was asked about LeBron. Okay, he was asked about LeBron, and he said LeBron is going to be statistically the most, statistically accomplished player in the NBA. Now that's not to say that he's like Jordan, but that's what the comparison is. Whenever they ask Scotty about something, it's generally about, how do you feel about LeBron compared to Michael Jordan? And Scotty's tried to dodge the issue many times. And sometimes he can't dodge the issue. Sometimes he has to say what it is. And I think this is one of these times where he just was not feeling too well about this guy here, Michael Jordan, for whatever reason. And he told half of the truth. Half of the truth is yes, Michael Jordan was a terrible teammate. But then again, Dennis Rodman was a terrible teammate. But then you have Tony Kukoc, Ron Harper, and then you have Scotty right there. And then you have Scotty and Mike at better times. That's right, when they were in better times. And then Mike there. But yes, Mike was a terrible teammate. We don't have to speculate on that too much. We know that to be a fact. That being said, he was not a terrible player. Okay, he did do mostly one-on-one, but his teams were not that great. Not that that really would have mattered because Mike has had a bad attitude ever since he hit the pros, as far as dominating people and not being nice to his teammates. So it probably would not have changed no matter who you got him, because Mike has to dominate all the action, all the time, in every circumstance. That's just the way he plays that game. So, with Scottie Pippen being correct when he said what he said about Michael Jordan, yes, he was being correct when he said that Michael Jordan was a terrible teammate. I don't think there's a teammate that likes him. Not that they've shown it, they haven't shown it. They've shown respect. They've shown respect for Michael Jordan. They're very cautious and guarded in their words. That alone tells you they don't like him, when you have to be cautious and guarded in your words. George Gervin used the A word when discussing Michael Jordan. George Gervin, a guy that everybody in the league knows and respects, when referencing Michael Jordan, was not kind. Isaiah Thomas, not kind. Now, Isaiah was a little bit of a hatchet man, but still, when he retired, he gave everybody their due, even Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never had a kind word to say about Isaiah. So I think that about sums it up. Was he a lousy player, terrible player? No, Scotty. Whether we like it or not, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, because of our personal feelings toward Michael Jordan, my eyes tell me, of all the players I've ever watched, Michael Jordan is the most impactful player I've ever seen. Now, this didn't happen all at once. It happened when he got you, Scotty. I think you changed him. You made him more of a complete player. There was you, Horace Grant, B.J. Armstrong, John Paxson, and they threw Ron Harper in there too. So, when you guys came together, Michael Jordan was the best player I've ever seen. He was he was probably the most scariest player I had ever seen before you guys came, but he couldn't win anything. And after you guys came, well, Michael Jordan started terrorizing the league like nobody's ever done before. Nobody could match what he did on offense or defense, period. Nobody could match his quickness. Nobody could match his speed. And most of all, nobody could match his intensity. With that, that's the show, everybody. That's it. Scotty, listen, Scotty, everybody loves you. Everybody loves you, Scottie Pippen. I mean, there is no Michael Jordan winning any championships without Scottie Pippen. And I hope you guys reconcile, but Mike is never the type to reconcile very easy. He and Charles Barkley is still on the outs, and whenever anybody has a little tiff with Michael Jordan, generally it lasts for a lifetime. But to then, I say good luck. Hopefully you guys reconcile. Hopefully, well, you keep hope alive. With that, I'm saying have a good evening, everybody. This is Amazing Great Sports Network. I am Clay Mars, glad to discuss NBA Thursday with you about the upcoming game tonight, the Denver Nuggets versus the Miami Heat in Denver, Mile High Denver. Should be nice weather there. It's going to be a sold-out game, that much you know. And if Denver does take this series, it'll be the first time that Denver has won an NBA championship. And, well, we have to wait and see if that happens. We have to make sure their stars make it through the series. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Make it through the series without getting injured. Okay. So, remember, you are the most important person in sports, everybody. Do not let sports dominate your life so that you get all upset and pissed off and mad. Know what you like And if your team fits into that, then good. And if your team does not fit into that, well, at least you know what you like. Don't be swayed to argue about a team that, well, does not fit your character. Okay. That means you're free to like whatever team you want. Just because you are from Florida does not mean you have to like the Miami Heat. And just because you're from Boston doesn't mean you have to like the Boston Celtics. It doesn't preclude you from liking a team from another area. Okay. So if you're from Boston, you can like a team. You can like the Chicago Bulls. You can like the, gosh, I hate to say this, but yes, the Los Angeles Lakers and even the Miami Heat, should you find they fit your character. Because you are the most important person in sports. You, not the team, not the coach, not the manager, not anything about it. You. And follow the team that makes you happy. Got that? With that, I bid you adieu. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Adios. Vaya con Dios. And goodbye, everybody.